All right. As I mentioned in our last segment, the Lafayette commemorative dollar was the first coin that a politician was ever represented on in terms of the United States Congress enacting the coin. Up through the early 1900s, there's still many images of liberty represented. Here's a Liberty head nickel from 1911. These were first minted in 1883, and they were minted up through 1913. Of course, the nickels that came after those were the buffalo nickels, which here's the reverse of one. They had an American Indian on the front of the coin. Those were minted in 1913. But in 1909, Lincoln was the first politician to be put on a coin. Of course, the Lincoln penny, we're all familiar with it. The obverse was an image of Lincoln in profile, and the reverse had 1 cent written on it with United States of America with a wreath design around the outside edge of the coin, E pluribus unum written on the top of the coin. And on the face of it, again, we have "In God We Trust," and liberty is still, of course, written on the coin. So fortunately, liberty is still on the coin, at least the word liberty. But this was the first time that we had a president that actually was commemorated on circulated coinage. This, of course, for you coin collectors out there, is a 1909 SVDB, another part of the collection that we inherited from my father. And it was well and good that they should have honored Lincoln the way that they did. But one of the things that it did was it opened the door for more politicians, more presidents to be commemorated on the coins, which there can be a case to be made for that. Perhaps it's well and proper that we honor our presidents this way. But this notion of liberty, that is what has slipped. And perhaps it's not the fault of the coins that that's happened, because liberty is still written on our coinage, throughout our coinage. But in today's currency, we spend more on our credit cards. It's all plastic. We probably don't even think about what a liberty it is we have to spend our money. Now, with the advent of the buffalo nickel and the Lincoln penny, there was still many images of liberty represented on our coins, and in some ways, perhaps the nicest coins that was ever made that represented the image of liberty occurred in the early 1900s. In fact, in 1916, there was a competition where the mint asked for different artists to provide images of coins, specifically of liberty, that could be used on some of the new coinage. And there were 3 coins that they made that had an image of liberty on it. In some cases, these are the most beautiful coins ever made by the United States, at least in some people's opinions. And in the next segment, we're going to talk about these 3 coins for a few minutes.